Hypothesis.
Hypothesis. Hypothesis. Hypothesis. Hypothesis.
Yes.
Has it been proved scientifically?
Well, for the moment, it's just hypothesis, 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 I confess.
Our current hypothesis is that he lives somewhere along the highway.
Well, perhaps you should reevaluate your hypothesis. Hypothesis. Hypothesis.
And that somehow has you convinced he's innocent?
I was testing a hypothesis and it began to form back in Victor Nardin's hotel room. It was odd.
Now, if Ginn still has the printer, or if we can compel him to confirm our hypothesis, we can prove that I was...
Family fortune. I tried to warn him he wouldn't listen, so I set about proving my hypothesis.
7 times, if memory serves, once in a pod on the London Eye.
Maybe that's where Gaspar and his team are supposed to take her.
Fine hypothesis. This method best explains that and the grisly amputation. Far better than my initial tow truck hypothesis.
Snap your spine, accelerate.
See, I don't think you really do.
Well, let's test your hypothesis.
Oh, I think you're willing to, but want's a different thing.
Investment.
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 The C Corps, the investment accounts, the investment accounts, the investment accounts.
To a meeting at the board of directors of Canon Ebersol.
The investment firm. The investment firm. The investment firm. What do they want to see you about?
I have no idea. Hence,
Large bet that the area would gentrify.
Bad investment. Bad investment. Bad investment.
Well, not entirely. It came out of it.
Associations to help you lobby.
Right. Now, we have some interest from some financial institutions regarding investment packages.
Fair enough. But we both know that investment banking is a profitable business.
The days we were walking down the stairs, it was very, very cute.
I'm just trying to protect my investment.
You would approve of this investment.
Oh. Think of it as a investment in the future.
A variance of $2.6 million on a failed investment from 3 years ago. It's authorized by my wife.
Good. I've paid you a lot of money, Fires. I expect a return on my investment.
You know, it's funny that you bring it up, Peter Mills, because I'm actually circling an investment opportunity that could be massive.
Darcy.
Making an investment, I gotta make money to pay for med school, so.
Take care of you based upon what you brought to the table. So, construction, hauling, initial investment.
Don't have a lot of out-of-pocket money to do any investing, So...
Modification.
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 We made some modifications to the uniform. Modifications to the uniform. Modifications to the uniform. I had a little design input.
The uniform? Aren't the stars and stripes a little...
Come from? This is called a praxinoscope. Although it made a few modifications. It allows you to project an image into space. Impossible.
Have you ever heard of body modification? Body modification? Body modification? Something that could have been sent over email.
They run the largest body modification website in the world, abstract.me.
I've heard of it.
Every simulation has been run. Every system modification has been made.
In lieu of the one that the phone comes with, we've seen this kind of modification twice recently.
Sebastian Moran, Daniel Gottlieb.
Even with the modifications to his various features, I've been unable to generate a facial recognition match to anyone in the NYPD database.
But his modifications to your company's software made the hunts possible, so you found that risk acceptable.
With the proper modifications, the nanotech can be applied to the miniaturization of key components.
Nay, these modifications can be activated with Terrigen crystals.
What? With a few modifications, yes.
These two. This one, the one they call Deathlock, his modifications are mechanical.
bestowed by science, by man.
Attention. 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 Attention.
Attention.
Keep up the hard work.
Attention! Attention! Attention!
This is nothing more than a little boy crying out for attention, for attention, for attention.
And who are you again?
Dr. Roth, school psych.
Kellen should pay more attention to you.
Yeah, dude.
Never look better,
Hey, have
man.
your attention, please. I wanted you to have this. It was your grandmother's.
Effective for what?
To get your attention.
I found that showing one's stamps was a very helpful way to get a young woman's attention. Was it?
Look at them down there. They're not even paying attention. This is the best part.
Okay, your turn. No way! Do you want to get her attention or not?
Yeah.
That was amazing!
The rest of the conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry, Angie. I wasn't paying attention. I need to go find a passenger with trigger finger.
Thanks for the talk.
Excuse me. If I could have your attention, please.
With their father, right? Right. She'd do anything to gain his attention.
So, she was jealous that he raped someone?
Right. To her, someone else was getting her father's attention. It could have easily triggered a psychotic break, leading...
She's attracted some unwanted attention.
Wisdom. Wisdom.
Wisdom. Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Deeply touched me with your person, with your wisdom, with your wisdom, with your wisdom, your courage, your kindness.
Today, looking for you. No school? No, I got some teeth pulled today. Wisdom teeth? Wisdom teeth? Wisdom teeth? Sugar rock.
Thanks. Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. And what's that?
Lady Cassia, come sit beside me. Give me the benefit of your wisdom.
Hey. Cool. So, got any words of wisdom for a kid trying to make it in the world?
Why? The knowledge and wisdom within must endure in case we are unable to stop him.
I would never try to replace you. With age comes wisdom.
I know, Master Chow.
Thanks for the foxy wisdom.
It's temporary.
I'm told that some people are just nice. They're trying to embrace that wisdom.
You'll just try to find someone else, and it won't work, and it shouldn't work. So that's the great wisdom you're imparting?
You're so obsessed with me getting laid. Because it works for me. It's called passing on wisdom. Also pimping.
Plus.
Plus.
Plus. Plus. Plus.
Giants, just you, me, and the greatest team in the National League.
Plus, the Diamondbacks will be there. That's a song, you know that. Plus, it's never a good idea to invest your friend's money.
Guy's gotta be devastated. Plus, he's refusing medical attention for a gunshot wound.
Nobody makes me do anything. Plus, they say it's actually good to be on your feet.
I was just thinking I should probably check on Ethan, see if he's okay.
It's only like an hour. Plus, I think it's good if he cools down in the guest house, you know?
Plus, I got one more thing. Booyah!
Fine. 4 avenues of escape, plus 2 variations on the 5th. There's the back balcony, the fire escape,
I know we're
the
not
point...
the best of friends.
Loading bay. The guards there checked everyone entering, but they didn't check people leaving. Plus, the bay was full of catering vans. He could have had one waiting for him and just blended right in.
Well, other than the bill I got handed this morning by my legal team, I'm feeling pretty good. Plus, now that this lawsuit's been settled, we can focus our attention on Unidac Industries.
People. Plus one more.
Tommy.
Laurel.
Plus, she really wants her purse back.
All of them?
All of them. Plus a boatload of monkeys.
Enough to buy you one used rib with a full tank, plus food, water, and medical supplies.
Philosopher. Philosopher.
Philosopher.
Philosopher.
Philosopher.
The philosopher Henri Bergson says it's funny when a human being behaves like an object.
This guy was an inventor. He was a philosopher. He was
Give us a quote of your favorite philosopher.
Philippa Foot was an English philosopher.
Oh my God.
Life is a test.
Oh no, philosopher king bullshit. Money, please.
Jeremy Bentham was a British philosopher.
We've all heard the proverbs, heard the philosophers, heard our grandparents warning us about waste.
Good. Michel Foucault was a French historian and philosopher associated with the structuralist.
From the time of ancient Greece to the present day, philosophers and scholars have argued man is essentially rational. I don't happen to agree.
Royal.
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 You have earned a place with the Montreal Royals. Montreal Royals. Montreal Royals.
Taking care of the king.
Of course. And on that note, I was thinking it might be nice to have a royal feast. A royal feast. A royal feast.
Wants to hug my sheer awesomeness.
Stop it! Do not touch the royal silks. Royal silks. Royal silks.
I don't need these.
We do. If we don't get 40 boxes, they won't be free. I've met actual queens, and this isn't royal behavior.
Tell you what, back home, we dragged the whole royal family into interrogation separately. Let them stew, catch them.
I really should have caught that.
It's okay. You're still part of the royal family.
I used to play in there for hours, dreaming of what my royal life would be when I grew up.
Leonard, nice to meet you.
Well, I hope maybe you'll be able to come to our wedding tomorrow. Royal Hawaiian?
Royal Hawaiian Center, please.
ISIS.
Let's go home.
Guys! We are the Royal Guard! Dwarves loyal to Snow White!
This is our chance to prove ourselves to the prince.
Certificate. Certificate.
Certificate. Certificate.
Certificate.
Certificate, birth certificate, birth certificate. I lost it.
Let's get a new one.
Don't let it get in the way of this. This is Jeremiah's birth certificate.
Been doing this about 3.5 years. Know the river inside and out, okay? Got my guide certificate from a Cracker Jack box.
Yep. What are you, a DJ?
No.
Oh, that's your name? Is Wild Style?
Yeah.
Like on your birth certificate, it says Wild Style.
Let's not talk about my name.
The hospital doctors refused to examine him and give him a cause of death on his death certificate. Without the death certificate, the undertakers will not take him.
Andrew has 14 sales today? Fuck. He's totally gonna win that Chili's gift certificate. Got it. Alexander Sharaven, age 9, apparently died in a drowning accident June 2004. Sharaven's own signature's on the certificate.
But you don't have a minister?
No.
Okay, what about one of those online ministry certificates? All I need is good Wi-Fi in 3 minutes.
Remember the spa certificates we got at the Children's Hospital auction?
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at this. They expire tomorrow.
I do have a death certificate for Saunders' mother from when he was 9.
Cassie Lockhart, Social Security card, driver's license, birth certificate. It's all legit.
Flaw.
Floor. Floor. Floor.
Flaw.
Mr. Dean, for all his talents, was given to one particular flaw. One particular flaw. One particular flaw.
It's a fatal flaw. Flaw. My father was the engineer who discovered the flaw. Discovered the flaw. Discovered the flaw.
That leaves a flaw in manufacturing.
I have this character flaw that compels me to intervene whenever stupidity rears its head.
Hasn't fled. It's a family flaw. Fleeing. Which is why I say we stick it out.
Your romantic inclinations are not a flaw to be corrected. They're a trait to be accepted.
Maybe it's time to recognize it's not a character flaw.
QC mainframe. Turns out there's a design flaw. The beacon is still susceptible to a subform wave, even if it's been deactivated.
It's just one flaw with your theory, though, Detective, and that is that all of this happened 14 years ago.
So, I have a major flaw. Great. Come on, let's hear it.
You're terrified of conflict.
How can I be terrified of conflict? I'm married to you.
Execution.
Execution.
Execution. Execution.
Execution.
It's just when we imprisoned Regina, you stopped her execution. You said killing her wasn't the answer, so how was turning her to stone any different? That was an assassination. This is an execution.
Today, Maxine Seagrave and her business associate Otto Aguilar were murdered. Shot execution style. Execution style. Execution style.
I never told your mum that I'd signed her execution papers. I couldn't tell her that.
You think you're just gonna piss on him and walk away? This is an execution. It's a fucking assassination. Did you finger Andrews? This is what you do now, Billy? You set up executions.
What city? I don't know. All I have is a year and the method of execution.
Your execution will proceed as scheduled. At midnight, 3 days from today.
More like an execution. Is that what they're saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Nori, you're not going to your execution. You're going to camp.
Every day is a new nightmare. Dome's a slow execution for everyone in here. You, of all people, should know that.
We both know who would pay the most. I'll make you pay the most. If we found out you'd captured me and send me back up north for a summer execution.
She wants.
I made the right decision when I stopped Regina's execution all those years ago.
In the risk.
We'll need to work this out step by step. The execution has to be perfect.
Independent.
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 Well, he's very independent. He's very independent. He's very independent.
Plus huge stores of food, medicine, an independent hydroelectric grid, an independent hydroelectric grid, an independent hydroelectric grid, lots of boats.
So you're the newspaper woman?
I'm the new editor of The Independent. The Independent. The Independent. Yeah.
He's an independent, playing some kind of genius games.
These people know that they are sitting behind those desks because I started an independent record label.
What do you have for us, Colonel?
We developed this plan independent of the Secret Service, sir.
That's a lot of work.
No, it isn't. Junior's independent in...
Our victim is Hank Spooner, an independent trucker out of San Antonio. No, but we're getting close. We figured out that he's an independent contractor for Apollo Pinnacle, Inc.
That's assuming that the detonator's connected to the store's electricity, not something independent like a car battery. I know. Not helpful.
Maybe the Independent ran an article about why her family came to Chester's Mill in 1988. From this time to the end of time, we are a free and independent kingdom.
The king in the north.
Our agent.
My days with Hydra are over. Just an independent contractor trying to make amends.
Tolerance.
Tolerance. Tolerance.
Tolerance.
Tolerance.
Your personal situation, frankly, I don't want to know. My tolerance for mess is minimal.
Sophomore class pong tournaments in a week. I'm working on my tolerance.
There are rules, Carrie, and one of them is zero tolerance for sexual liaisons in the workplace.
For fishermen, the only virtues are patience, tolerance, and humility.
Violence and hatred is not the answer. If we are to be accepted, we must show love and tolerance.
What? Dude, what's the point? I haven't seen him for like a year. I guess my tolerance for being called a disappointment has an expiration date.
Although our policy is zero tolerance. If you jack, you will go back.
External airlock pressure tolerances can be adjusted
At the manual feed stem.
Hooking kids on drugs and violence at what, 10, 11 years old now? Zero tolerance, Vesson or no Vesson.
This was the Johnson boy?
Yes, he broke the boy's nose. Because of our no tolerance policy, your son may face expulsion.
Police? This school has a zero tolerance policy when it comes to profanity.
Oh, I was going to credit our high tolerance for adultery and perversion. Either way.
This place is single-handedly lowering my tolerance. Let's hit the liquor store.
And no one is going to be writing a check for you if they know you're affiliated with that.
I get it.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow is prom.
This is murder and porn. There's a killer in Grizzly Lake who is affiliated with people at my school.
Enjoy watching us win the ICCAs on the TV, on a regional cable affiliate.
I see you starting in spring with our affiliate in Montreal.
His name is Terrence Hall. An NBC affiliate has footage of me speaking at his oyster company.
He gave me the full run of the place. I started right in tuning up the affiliate business.
Point, bumper sticker, travel Bible.
You affiliated with the church around here?
No.
Trace the deposits.
All from businesses owned or affiliated to Tommy Valentino.
Tommy the Shark Valentino?
But it seems that you've been affiliated with S.H.I.E.L.D. in one capacity or another for most of your life.
A lot of their parents are affiliated with the Russian mob, so I try to give them other options.
They appear to originate out of accounts affiliated with Hezbollah, but someone had electronically spoofed the transfers.
USA Today. All right, I want affiliate stations and cable news. I want satellite trucks out there. I want this on live TV. Okay, I'm on it.
Bathroom.
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 Okay? I don't know why it needs the best view. Or a private bathroom. Bathroom for that matter.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's not like that down here, okay? We don't have private offices or private bathrooms or private bathrooms or private bathrooms or bathrooms. We have to use the one on the chiropractor's office, which is on the 3rd floor.
But now, I am 100% totally yours. After I go to the bathroom. Didn't
you just go?
Okay, everyone's gotta go. There's something oozing out of the drains in the bathroom. Get out!
All right, body found partially clothed upstairs bathroom.
But in exchange, you move us to the mess decks. There's food, water. People can use the bathroom.
You know what? They're actually just right there where I left them, just hanging over the mirror in your bathroom.
Where's Selena? In the bathroom? Why?
Sound of my boys waking up, fighting over who gets the bathroom. Those three.
House. There should be soap and toothpaste, everything you need in the bathroom.
Thank
you.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Alike.
Alike. Alike. Alike.
Alike.
What it really meant. How much we're alike and how we've been through the same things.
Tell her, sweetie.
Well, I was looking at my cereal this morning and I was thinking, wow, no two flakes are exactly alike.
You wanna need it. Okay, but I'm telling you, we look a lot alike, but mostly probably gonna recognize you and me.
Understood the word Francie?
Fighting, are they? Huh? So much alike, those two.
They're literally nothing alike.
Oh, different mothers.
So how do we pop that box?
Well, Google it.
We think a lot alike.
Is that right?
Seriously.
The music, wow, like everything sounds alike, like they're playing the same.
It's exit, isn't it? And exit is sometimes mistranslated as éxito, probably because both words sound so alike. Thank you, Rosetta Stone.
It's what I do when I can't write a paper.
You can go back to bed now, love, if you want.
Happy families are all alike. However, every unhappy is...
Time's been kind to the Price sisters.
Well, don't lump us together.
But you're so alike.
No, we're not. Nothing alike. Nothing. Nada.
Who's the blonde? Is it his brother?
Please, they look nothing alike.
I bet they're doing it with each other. How?
There's been a change in the weather.
Perfect.
And a change.
Oh, we really are alike.
Edie? Yes. I'm Felicia Tillman. Martha's sister. Really? What's wrong? Oh, nothing's wrong. It's just that Martha always said how alike you two were. I just don't see the family resemblance.
Tendency. 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 Tendency.
Tendency.
Unfortunately, that doesn't always mean a good one. Yeah, he has a tendency to step out on his wife. He books himself a room, and we don't know about it.
Well, in my life, I have a tendency to make very, very...
But the fact that I could think that they would, it reminded me that I have this tendency to expect the worst of people.
But he never seemed to show much interest in that. He stayed busy all the time and was working.
He had a tendency to hold on to another man's hand just a touch too long after shaking it.
Do things.
Clark, when people are scared, they have a tendency to hop on a bandwagon before they see who's driving it.
What you thought?
Well, the Sheikh's English has a certain tendency towards the mystical, don't you think?
Early language of his infant son. He observed, man has an instinctive tendency to speak as we see in the babble of young children.
No sleep, no food.
Or make Sherlock a dull boy.
People in recovery have a tendency to relapse when they haven't eaten. They take 10 years.
They screen for disease for the tendency to inflict injury during the live cover.
Could you please get the card for me? No offense, Mr. Queen, but I've been filled in on your tendency to slip the leash. If it's all the same to you, I'd prefer keeping you in my sights at all times. You're just a ray of sunshine today, aren't you, Dad?
Please forgive me. Talking about my wife has a tendency to make me a little bit maudlin.
Pain at certain levels has a tendency to cause us to black out, and that can be incredibly frustrating.
Unlikely.
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 Unlikely. But in that case, we'll even things out by raising the margins we make on the more important piece.
Officers, Mr. Bledisloe said to see you.
Well, I'd much rather talk to you.
Unlikely.
I have to follow every lead, however unlikely, however fucking painful.
I understand that it is highly unlikely, but if he does...
If he does!
I find this notion romantic, but, unlikely.
24, Jason would have been 66, an affair would have been...
Gross.
I was gonna say unlikely.
It doesn't look like an affair.
It's unlikely, but it's reasonable. Back to haunted. Well, that would be rather unlikely.
By checked out, we're going to have to look at all of our options, including the unlikely ones.
Love to say we're going to catch him before your sister's trial, but it's highly unlikely.
It's highly unlikely.
You're unlikely ever to see her again.
It's a scanner. You just point and shoot at any object and any object and any object and boop. You just ordered yourself some pens.
And what did you have in mind?
An object lesson. An object lesson. An object lesson.
The object, it sent me. I saw a blue light, and I ended up here.
No contact of any kind. No tape recorders. No object may be passed to the prisoner.
What?
It's an inanimate fucking object.
You're an inanimate fucking object!
And I saw an object that blew my mind. It was a drinking cup fashioned from a single piece of jade.
Cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression, and where once you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, and nuclear warfare.
All right, it's worth a shot. Chancellor, I have to object.
My date's more interested in networking than he is in me.
In that case, he won't object if I ask you for a dot.
You're a crush object with a badge. Said they were working with Interpol.
Yeah.
Let's see. And since sound is expressed as a vibration, if the pitch of the sound matches the natural vibration frequency of an object, then...
Containment breach. Foreign object detected.
Employer.
Employer. Employer.
Employer.
Employer.
I know who you are.
And, unlike your current employer, I protect those who work for me.
You better respect my employer. Or you should respect how difficult my job is.
We intercepted a call between him and a certain Saul Goodman Esquire. You know, your employer.
Captain Denoli, my employer, Leonardo da Vinci, Lorenzo Medici's own war engineer.
What happened?
My employer beat him with the butt of an antique rifle.
Declan's execution is set for midnight 2 days from now. Camille Declan's former employer, Jason Brodeur, released a statement saying, quote,
You want to destabilize China's economy.
It's not what I want, but rather my employer.
Screw you. I've got a reputation in the security business. It's one thing if my employer gets iced. It's another if it happens in his bedroom.
Let's discuss your previous employer. Why did you join S.H.I.E.L.D. in the first place?
No, Mrs. Patmore.
Then might I remind you, we are preparing dinner for your future employer.
He's a good man and a decent employer.
One can get their heads around, and it doesn't hurt that Iowa's biggest employer is the public school system.
Ample.
Ample. Ample.
Ample.
Ample.
I'm sure Caitlin and I will provide ample support, Perry.
And I will be happy to sit this one out.
Instead, I paid a visit to the fairies. Or rather, a visit to their ample supply of magic. Ample supply of magic. Ample supply of magic.
I promise there will be ample time to go over the information you have prepared. But...
He had ample opportunity to do us real damage, and he didn't.
Well, I know enough to know that Okie retard had ample long time in that bathroom with little old me before your ass showed up.
I wouldn't jeopardize such a valuable asset as yourself without ample reason.
To show your photograph around the bar. There was an ample selection of snapshots to choose from on your profile. We opted to...
So Jarvis would have had ample opportunity to tamper with the smoker.
Seems like a man worth...
Burned beyond any recognition, with ample evidence that Oliver and Thea Queen had been killed in some horrible accident.
Violent. 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 Violent.
Beth, okay, you're just like, you're violent and you're angry and you're destructive, and I'm scared of you.
If you want to go see Tyree, I'll give you directions, but you gotta make that choice because he's a violent man.
Rebels were planning to increase their violent campaign as the country prepares for the presidential elections.
The organ trade in Germany. Strange examples of violent behavior across the Asian peninsulas.
This violent and unparalleled assault to our security will not go undefended.
Ow. Boys can be really violent. It's all kill.
That seems like a strange time and place to commit violent homicide. Wouldn't you agree?
He's nasty, short-tempered, prone to violent outbursts. Sounds like what we've been dealing with.
America's a violent country, what can I tell you?
You heard about my parole, but not about my violent reactions when people steal my tuna.
If you're concerned that by removing her from this place, she could get violent with you.
Dessert.
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 Desert.
That's so good.
You ready for dessert?
Dessert? Dessert? Dessert? You just had waffles.
Our work here is done. What should we have for dessert? 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 More. I can't wait to see the expression on Grandma.
Dessert is now being served. Dessert is now being served. Dessert is now being served.
Very busy.
I think it's perfect, I have to say.
Linda, the dessert?
Oh, we're not having dessert.
Hush.
Mrs. Underhill made apple pie for dessert.
This is really awkward. I'm gonna go.
Dessert is coming.
I'm full.
And all you got to do is bring me your dessert after the next meal. It's real simple.
Okay, what do you want to be normal? I don't know, eating dessert for breakfast?
So now, with that, let us enjoy the wonderful dessert our new friend Raina has provided.
So does this mean that you can actually sit down and have some dessert?
Here's your dessert.
Thank you. Mike, this looks yummy.
You know, for dessert, after the TV dinners.
Barrier.
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 Parents.
Of course, every parent wants the best for their children, and I guess we just sort of put barriers up. We didn't want to get them involved in things that would get them, you know, hurt them in the early years.
Wrong with your remote?
There's a barrier. Your signals won't get through.
Hey! Hey, what's happening back there? Stop. Put the barrier up. Hey! Hey! Put the pillow between you. Make a barrier. Barrier. Come on. Stop.
Secrets create barriers between people. Speaking from experience, believe me.
It's because you've got no choice. You see, this barrier thing is blocking all of the cell phones, TV, internet.
Cisco! Turn off the barrier! If I turn it off, that thing's gonna get out.
How do we catch somebody that even I can't keep up with?
We can fashion an electronic barrier to trap the reverse flash.
What are you talking about? He just won the Academy Award. He's breaking down barriers for all of us.
Of the pie dish with cheese to provide a barrier between the liquid and the crust.
He goes down State Street! He got around the barriers at Morrison!
Librarian.
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 My mom was a librarian.
Was? So I finally took Harvard shopping because
He dresses like a lesbian librarian.
no, because
Can I help you find anything, sir?
Where is the librarian? Librarian?
I'm not familiar with that title.
You're worse than the other one. No. Where is the librarian?
You're so crazy, Frank. You don't mind if I borrow Madam Librarian for a moment? I want to introduce her to some elite donors.
I got it. Here it is, the new Martha Stewart living. I ran so fast, the librarian said, stop running in the library. And I almost said, this is different, I'm stealing.
I don't get it. This is a little old retired librarian. What could possibly be in her safe deposit box that would be worth doing all this?
Hurry at that hour?
It's open 24/7 during finals. You can ask the librarian and the 10 other people who were studying there.
There's a football game in the yard? You made a great catch?
No, that didn't happen. But the librarian told me one day I'll be a great catch.
You, me, even the librarian here.
She loves mystery, don't you, honey?
Our librarian reads a chapter every day after dinner. Actually, we're just finishing Death on the Nile, so if you know who done it, keep it to yourselves.
This is perfect. Where did you get this?
used to do the sexy librarian thing, glasses, hair bun, the whole bit.
The best?
I don't know, maybe a professor or, I know, a librarian maybe?
Why, yes.